Okay, hi Robin, this is Susie. Okay, so this is the presentation that I do, and I just decided to do a little video on it so that this will help you practicing. And like I said, you don't have to follow exactly what I'm doing, but I think it's pretty good. I think it gives good understanding of what these oils can do. And so, yeah, let's start. All right, the purpose of this class is to give you a knowledge and the tools and the resources necessary for you to take care of your family through the use and discovery of essential oils. Now, I say discovery, but in fact, essential oils have been used for thousands of years. They go back more than 5,000 years. They have been used by many ancient civilizations all over the world. They have been part of religion, courtship, marriage ceremonies, medicine, and cosmetic. In fact, in 1922, when archaeologist Howard Carter discovered the tomb of an Egyptian king, in the tomb there were several alabaster jars that had been used to hold scented oils. And so, as we can see, we can go back in history, and yeah, aromatherapy is not something new, but it's just that, when antibiotics came out, well, who needs plants, right? And so, we thought we had invented the magic pill. In fact, antibiotics, is true, has saved millions of lives, and there's a time and a place for it. But, I think the art of, using plant-based medicine has really been lost over the years. Throughout this presentation, I will have a few videos, and let's start with this one here.
Look out and see the world. It takes everything we have to face it. Without a sound, we take a step. Inside our hearts are racing. If it takes forever, we'll get there together.
As we started using them with our family, specifically with our little kids, and saw how fast they worked and how easy it was to be able to help all of our health, it was awesome. We fell in love with them. Now when my wife and I talk about the oils, it's like, what did we do before the oils?
Every time we use the oils, it's amazing because I know that no matter what I pick, even if it's not the very specific thing that they needed, I've still done something positive for their bodies.
I love to diffuse the oils in my house. I use them throughout the day as pick-me-ups. I drink them in my water. I cook with them. I do my laundry with them. They're just everywhere.
To be able to have answers at our fingertips that are natural and safe, that we feel even comfortable giving to our baby, is something that gives us a lot of peace of mind.
I'm teaching them about a different way to take care of themselves, and it's leaving a legacy for them. Who doesn't want that for their children? Who doesn't want to teach that?
When we began to use them and got results for ourselves and in our family and with people that we knew, I mean, that was amazing to us because we didn't even know that the power of essential oils existed.
It was amazing, especially knowing what we had gone through and actually feeling for once that I was able to help my child, every mom's dream. It was very empowering, and that was kind of my moment that I knew, why wouldn't it work?
It wasn't a couple days and I knew that these were amazing. And I was using them on my kids.
We're ready for anything.
I didn't know that I had another option. I didn't know that I could have the power or the choice. doTERRA has given me the ability to make those decisions and to see that you don't have to give up all of your power. You can actually do it yourself.
We're ready for
So why use essential oils at all? Well, essential oils are very antibacterial. They can be very antiviral. They can be very anti-inflammatory and antifungal. For example, if you're talking about Melaleuca or tea tree oil, that's very highly antifungal. And when I started with essential oils, I thought, well, all I have to do then is buy one bottle and I will have all of these properties inside the bottle. Well, the fact is some oils are more antibacterial than others. And some oils are more anti-inflammatory than others, like wintergreen. doTERRA has an oil, for example, called On Guard. On Guard is a blend, and this blend contains orange, rosemary, eucalyptus, clove, and cinnamon. And we know that these oils are superb for eliminating a large number of bacteria and viruses. In fact, the oils in On Guard have been studied for their strong ability to kill harmful bacteria like MRSA. MRSA is one of those superbugs. In fact, it stands for methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus. So it's a staph infection. The staph infection used to be a hospital-acquired infection, but now there's a community strain that is resistant to several antibiotics. It's very, very difficult to destroy this bacteria. And to think that just a little essential oil can come along and kill 17 strains of this bacteria. That's how powerful essential oils are. Let me play you an excerpt of a short video that was featured on the show Frontline about how damaging MRSA is. Now in this little video, the little girl, she's 11 years old, she comes home and she complains of a sore hip. Now the video will end abruptly when the doctor says what he recognized was a community strain MRSA.
I thought, well, you know, she's just finishing up softball. She had been to the track meet, you know, it all kind of, well, it could have been an injury. I gave her some ibuprofen. As the night wore on, her pain got worse. She didn't sleep much that night. Woke me up a couple of times asking if she could take a hot bath or have another ibuprofen.
The next morning, Tanya Rarisic, a nurse for 16 years, took Addie to a local hospital where they said she had symptoms of a virus. But over the next few days, the pain spread and the fever got worse.
I was afraid. At that point, I remember being very afraid. And so I packed a bag and we went to another hospital that had specialized in children's care. I remember thinking, she looks bad. This is bad. Something's really, really wrong. They put her on antibiotics. Her blood pressure was dropping. They, were making space in the ICU for her. The next morning, she needed oxygen via mask. They looked at part of her lungs and diagnosed her with pneumonia. I remember sitting there watching the sun come up and thinking, how did she get so sick? How did this happen so fast?
I met Addie in a hospital bed in the intensive care unit. She was lying there, breathing quickly. She was scared. She had little infected boils all over her body. What really looked most likely when I saw her was a staph bacteria causing septic shock. And Addie fit a pattern that I recognized with community-associated MRSA.
Community-associated MRSA. And to think that On Guard essential oil can kill 17 strains of it. This is so great. I took herbology many years ago. Our teacher would always say to us, for every ailment, there's a plant on this earth for this ailment. And you know what? I know he was right. I know this is so true. Plant-based medicine, to me, it just makes so much sense because we have evolved with plants. They've been around us for so many years. And talking about antibiotics, let me show you an interesting slide. This slide shows the total number of new antibiotic agents being developed over the years. Look at in 1983. Between 1983 and 1987, we were developing quite a bit of new antibiotic, but you can see these numbers are dwindling. So basically, we're not producing any new antibiotic. We're still making the ones that we already have, but we're not developing new antibiotics. Now, this is pretty alarming because we have more and more superbugs coming out and less antibiotic being produced. Let me show you a little video by Dr. Dave Stoyer showing how effective essential oils are in combating these superbugs, these bacteria.
Bacteria have the ability to change their genetic makeup over time for their own self-preservation. Bacteria have their own defensive mechanism. They produce something called a peptidoglycan layer. It's the equivalent of an M&M shell that's protecting the chocolate on the inside. Now, one of the other elements that bacteria are very, very good at making, and that is something called a biofilm. Biofilm is its own very goopy, slimy mess that it covers itself in. So what's now starting to happen is we are finding that once very useful antibacterial medications are no longer effective at all. What that means for us, we have to use stronger antibacterial medications. We have to use more potent antibacterial medications. That comes at a cost to our own bodies. Melaleuca has the ability to come in and start to modify that sludge and remove it so that the oregano can get to the bacteria. And in oregano, there's a product called Carvacrol. Carvacrol will bind to that peptidoglycan and it punctures a little hole in there. Once that hole opens, you start to get a passing of ions back and forth. What that does to the bacteria is it allows it to lyse. It means burst open. And we've now accomplished something very dramatic, and that is by doing nothing more than using 2 simple little plant-based essential oils, you have created a very effective antibacterial solution.
There's a huge movement happening in the world right now on essential oils. Actually, look at this chart here. This shows the annual scientific publications on essential oils. And you can see this only in the last 10 years that research has really skyrocketed. And why do you think that is? I think perhaps scientists are realizing that plant-based medicine really works. But look at the graph. It shows the publication released from 1844 all the way up to 2013. And so you can see, again, this movement that I'm talking about, a lot of people are looking for alternative. And like I said, and I still maintain, plant-based medicine to me just makes so much sense. Okay, let's have a look at how essential oils work inside your body. So here we have a cell, and as you can see, bacteria lives on the outside of the cell. However, a virus lives inside the cell. You see, a virus needs to use the cell mechanism in order to survive and to replicate itself and so on and so forth. When the doctor gives you an antibiotic, it kills both good and bad bacteria. But antibiotics are ineffective against viruses because they cannot penetrate the cell. However, essential oils have the capacity to penetrate cell membranes and destroy and kill viruses. There's no drug that exists today that have the capacity to do this effectively, to kill a virus. There is a few drugs like interferons and whatnot, but they are ineffective because they're so strong that, by killing the virus, they also kill the cell. If I have to kill you to kill the virus, well, we're not further ahead, right? Let's talk about where doTERRA sources their plant material. Well, in fact, doTERRA sources their plant material from its country of origin. For example, lavender is native to France, and it just has the right climate to produce a beautiful lavender essential oil. So that's where doTERRA gets their essential oils from. What about frankincense? Frankincense comes from Somalia. It's the desert, it's hot there, it's the climate, the barometric pressure, everything is perfect for that plant to produce the best quality essential oils. I do want to take the time to explain something. There's a huge difference between purity and quality. Because the fact is that if you take lavender, in lavender there's over 800 chemical constituents naturally found in lavender. Nature put them there, we didn't. So it's naturally found there. And in fact, scientists have only identified about 200 chemical constituents in lavender. The rest they don't know what it is. They can see it and it's there, but they don't know what it is. And what makes lavender very wonderful for burns and for calming, and it's very sedative. It's the lanolol acetate and lanolol. So if the plant is not grown in its natural habitat, the percentages of these levels might not be very high, might be very, very low, you see? And therefore, the oil would not be so therapeutic. For example, I can take a frankincense tree and grow it in Winnipeg. It's minus 30 in Winnipeg. It's not a desert there. And so frankincense won't, it will be pure because you can grow it in organic soil, in soil that's never had pesticide, herbicide. Yeah, the oil will be pure, but the quality won't be there because it's not grown in its natural habitat. So those levels of chemical constituents are just not going to be very good. So when I read on a label 100% pure, yeah, maybe so, but that does not tell me anything about the quality of the essential oils. And this is what differentiates doTERRA from many other companies. doTERRA does not grow a bunch of farms and growing all these plants on these farms. No, they travel all over the world. They get their plants all over the world. Now let me introduce you to someone very special. I'm so lucky that I've had the opportunity to meet Dr. Robert Pappas. He is a world-renowned chemist on essential oils. In fact, he's been studying essential oils for the last 20 years. Dr. Pappas' work has made him a much sought-after consultant for companies and individuals all over the world because the information he provides with regards to quality assurance. And he is the go-to person for chemical analysis. So he does not work for doTERRA, but he does analysis for many companies all over the world. He has the most high-tech laboratory that can tell you exactly what is in an essential oils, if it's been adulterated, if it's been somehow, having synthetic added to it. He's just a phenomenal and very, very knowledgeable when it comes to essential oils and chemistry. I actually have a short clip about doTERRA and the quality of their oils. And in the clip, you'll see Dr. Pappas talking about doTERRA.
So when we talk about quality, it's not always about what testing you're doing. You have to look at the whole process and what that means collectively. And I believe that doTERRA does that better than anyone else.
doTERRA is the best company in the industry right now. I mean, they're the leaders. I mean, there's no one that's really coming close to doing what they're doing. I haven't seen anything like it in my 20 years of being in this industry, of a company going to the lengths that they go to secure the best oil in the world.
doTERRA's commitment to quality starts well before the plants are even distilled. Through our co-impact sourcing, the CPTG process starts then. And then it goes through a three-tiered testing process that starts with outside labs and finishes off inside the company here, and then continues on after the bottles are sold.
We do several layers of testing, including GCMS, optical rotation, specific gravity, refractive index, chiral testing, carbon-14, probably more extensive than just about any lab out there.
Let's talk about some of the essential oils. I pick lavender. Lavender is so calming, so relaxing. Lavender is well known to alleviate the burning of burns. If you burn yourself, you just put lavender on the burn. Now don't just put a drop. As long as the pain is continuous, keep putting a drop. So this is the way you're going to use lavender. You burn yourself, put a drop. You still experience pain, put a drop. It's still painful, put another drop. And eventually, there'll be no pain for about a few seconds. Then the pain comes back, put another drop. Then you won't have pain for about 5 seconds. But the pain comes back, put another drop. Now you won't have pain for like 10 minutes. And when it comes back, you just keep putting a drop and a drop and a drop. And eventually, you won't have pain for like half an hour. And if you burn yourself, you won't even blister. The healing will take place very quickly, and you will have no scars. And so it's so awesome for burns, whether it's a sunburn or you just burn yourself in the oven or something like that. And lavender is very good too against wasp or bee stings. It's like the antidote for it. In fact, if you mix 2 drops of lavender, 2 drops of lemon, and 2 drops of peppermint, you've just made yourself a wonderful antihistamine. In fact, let me show you how powerful lavender is for healing burns. Here we have a gentleman that suffered sulfuric acid burn. They were working in the field, and somehow he got sprayed in the face with battery acid. As you can see, if that had touched his eye, he would be blind. And so the picture on the left is about 20 minutes after the accident happened, and the picture on the right is about 45 minutes after. You see, with battery acid, if you put battery acid inside the palm of your hand, just wait a few minutes and it'll go right through your hand. It's very, very caustic, is very harsh on the skin, that's for sure. And yeah, so we use a combination of lavender, frankincense, and helichrysum mixed with 50-50 rosehip seed oil and coconut oil. And look at these results. The doctor told him that there was nothing he could do for him other than putting polysporin on his skin. Well, let me tell you that he was so happy that we introduced him to essential oils. The next oil I'm going to talk about is frankincense. Frankincense is an interesting oil. The tree of frankincense lives 100 years, but it takes 10 years for the frankincense tree to produce a resin, which we distill, and we get, of course, frankincense essential oils. The way frankincense is harvested is also interesting. One of the harvester will take a knife and they will score the bark of the tree. Now they have to be careful, because if they go too deep, they kill the tree. And once the bark has been scored, on the right hand side you can see it will start producing this milky white substance as soon as it's been cut. And as this substance rolls down the tree, it picks up impurity, dirt, and therefore it's not as good as quality as the frankincense found right where at the site of the cut. You see, so the frankincense, what I mean to say is the frankincense found at the bottom of the tree is not as good of a quality. Now you can just imagine where doTERRA harvests the frankincense, right at the site of the cut, because there it's pure, it hasn't been dirty, it hasn't been, you know, it's fresh. And anyway, it's quite interesting. And then this is called a resin, and then we dry the resin, and from the resin we distill the resin, and then we get essential oils. In October of 2015, when I met with Dr. Pappas, he told me that right now doTERRA has the best frankincense in the world. And that was quite tremendous for me to hear that. It was so amazing. I thought, hey, right on. It felt good to be with the right company. Now, apparently, in some frankincense species lives a snake. And in the old days, they used to think it was a flying viper. But in fact, this snake is called a carpet snake. And the carpet snake can jump. And these snakes are very highly poisonous. And there is no antidote for their poison. Apparently, the harvesters, before they can go and get the resin of frankincense, they bring dogs to sniff out the snakes. And once the dogs sniff out the snakes, they remove the snake, and then they can go and harvest frankincense. So now what I think that frankincense is one of the expensive oil, knowing that there's a snake living in a tree and there's no antidote for its poison, for its venomous, for its poison, I don't feel so bad now to pay the price I pay for frankincense. One area where essential oils really shine is when it comes to emotions and to emotional well-beings, whether it is depression, anxiety, bipolar, schizophrenia. You see, an essential oil can cross the blood-brain barrier. And there's not too many things that can cross the blood-brain barrier. So when you inhale an essential oils, it can affect your mood and your emotions tremendously. And this is something that pharmaceutical drugs cannot do. For example, you can take an aspirin for a sore foot, but it will not help you emotionally. Well, if you take lavender for a sore foot, I can guarantee you it will also help you emotionally. It will make you more calm, more relaxed. Let's have a look at how it works.
Each of us have experienced different types of moods. Sometimes they can be positive, and sometimes they can be downright negative. That mood is a chemical reaction that is occurring within our brain. One of the pronounced effects that we find with organic compounds, especially the essential oils, is the ability to alter or modify moods. It's what's called a chemical-mediated neurotransmission. Fortunately, those neurotransmitters have a very protective barrier. It is called the blood-brain barrier. Some of those essential oils have the capacity to pass through the blood-brain barrier and create a positive effect. In some cases, the aroma has a pronounced effect, but in others, it is a genuine chemical response to that aromatic or that small little compound as it passes through the blood-brain barrier and binds on the other side to a small little catcher's mitt. It now creates a neurochemical reaction, creating an increase, or in some cases a decrease, of different types of chemicals that creates a pronounced neurochemical reaction and a very positive effect on the brain.
Let's have a look at another essential oils, oregano. Who's heard here that oregano is very good when you have a sore throat? Most people have. Well, oregano is also good for many things like warts. This, in fact, is my son's toes, and he had warts all over his toes until we started to use oregano twice a day for about 2.5 weeks. And it started to just disappear, and by the 3rd week they were completely gone. This is 3 years ago, and the warts have never come back. Now here's some exciting news. doTERRA products have been approved by Health Canada. This is tremendous. See, normally pharmaceutical drugs are given a DIN number, which stands for Drug Identification Number. But a natural product can be given an NPN number, which stands for Natural Product Number, by Health Canada. And this is tremendous because it tells, physicians, homeopath, naturopath, that their product has been in fact approved in our country. And this has happened just recently. It takes years to go through this process, and doTERRA has finally succeeded in getting all of their oils approved by our government. So yay! So now the big question is, how do you purchase essential oils? Well, there's a couple of ways you can do this. You can purchase your essential oils directly from the company, but don't do that because you'll pay too much money. I like to think about it this way. When you go to Costco, you get a membership card, you pay about $50 a year. If you're a company, you'll pay about $100 a year. And with this membership card, it allows you to go shopping at Costco. Now, Costco doesn't bother you, they don't phone you. doTERRA is the same. You can purchase a membership for $35, and this allows you to save 25% on all the products. After 1 year, when you renew, the cost is only $25 US. But they give you a free bottle of peppermint, which is worth about $22 US. So essentially, it hardly costs anything to renew. There are 2 ways to order. The first way is you can pay your $35 membership, and then you just add the oils that you need. The other way to order is doTERRA has some kits already made up, and these kits already include your $35 membership. So this is really good saving. You can also add to the kit. For example, if it does not contain an oil that you wish to have, when you place your enrollment order, you can add to the kit. Ordering with doTERRA is nice because there's no obligations to purchase. You purchase your oil whenever you want, 1 bottle a year or 10 bottles a year. doTERRA does have some fantastic program for people who purchase oils frequently. For example, I tell everyone, if you see yourself purchasing oil every month, then they have programs for that. And in these programs is good because you can save an extra 30%. So if you want to look at this program, let me know and I'll show them to you. Here's another popular little kit. It's called the Family Physician Kit. This kit contains as well 10 essential oils, and it also have the peppermint beadlets and the On Guard beadlets. It has basically the same oil as the previous kit that I showed you, the Home Essential Kit, but it's cheaper in price, and also it does not have the diffuser. So I hope you really liked this presentation, and I would like to say that essential oils will change your life. It's just something you can use every day with your loved ones, with your children, and I do encourage you to start using them. And don't hesitate. If you have any questions, just come and see me. I'd love to help you out. And yeah, so thank you very much.